welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a sketchbook tour. These videos tend to be pretty long, so I just kind of want to jump right into it and start off with all the stickers that I have here on my cover. So let's just get started. This one here is a sticker from my tattoo shop that I got my first tattoo at. This one here is a Life Illustrations van sticker. This is one I just got from Hot Topic. I just thought it was really cute. This is also another Life Illustration sticker. This is another sticker I got a really long time ago from Hot Topic as well. Like spiders and bugs in the door Hot Topic. That's how long ago I got that sticker. This is another Hot Topic sticker, just another one I thought was cute. And this one here is a Nikki Bucknose sticker. I really like this one, it's super cute. And that's the cover of my sketchbook. So I thought it would be a good thing to say before we get started that this sketchbook is quite old. There are a lot of older drawings in here just because there was a lot of gaps between certain sketches, and as you can see here on the first page it says Caleb Pierce on the inside of the cover. I wasn't even married yet. I started this sketchbook in April of 2017 and I just recently finished it. I just kind of decided that I wanted to start using my sketchbook more frequently, and so I did, but not until a couple years after I actually started it. So that's why a lot of these in here are really old. So yeah, I guess let's just get into looking at the actual sketches here. This first page is nothing fancy. I mean, this whole sketchbook is nothing fancy, but you know what I mean. So this first page here is just some random doodles. Looks like I was just trying to sketch some faces and stuff. Nothing fancy, you know, just some girls like I usually draw. I guess since we're here on the first page, it might be a good idea to kind of elaborate and just let you guys know this is not going to be a very finished sketchbook. A lot of my sketches are really messy, like these ones you see. And there's a few kind of slightly finished pieces in here, but I mostly just use it for a catch-all to test markers and colors for certain drawings that I'm finishing, stuff like that. Like you see here, these are some reference sketches. I was studying Jacqueline de Leon, and I do that a lot, not really in this sketchbook in particular, but I just so happened to do that here, just studying some poses. This side of the page is where I started Mermaid in 2017. It was actually just an attempt. Did not finish it, but I got a few days here in. And here's some more. I sketched that one while I was at work. It was a slow day that day, so I just thought I would sketch in some Mermaid and just didn't finish it. Mermaid, I guess, is a hard one for me to finish. Next one here is just some more sketchy poses. Oh, also it's good to mention here that there is nudity in this sketchbook, so if you don't like that, don't watch this video. It's just stuff like this though that's like gesture drawings and stuff. Here I was studying Jacqueline de Leon again, just studying like the way she draws eyes and faces, and then I kind of tried to take that and turn it into my own style with this one. But if I'm quite honest, I really don't like this drawing at all. But it's in my sketchbook, so it is what it is. I didn't want to tear it out and throw it away because it was a learning experience. More studying of Jacqueline de Leon. Tried to kind of change it a little bit. I believe this is when I got my mechanical pencils with colored lead, so I was just sketching with those for fun. Here it looks like I just started Inktober of 2017, and for those of you that don't know, I did finish it this year. This is the first year I did end up actually finishing it. So I did alphabet witches this year, so I picked a letter of the alphabet for every day and drew a witch. So if you want to see all of those are all over on my Instagram. I post it every single day, so you can go check those out if you would like. My Instagram is always in the description. The sticky note here is something I doodled at work around Halloween time. Looks like here I was just making a list of sketchbook challenges that I thought might be a good idea to try one day. Here I was testing the colorless blender on different colors just to see what kind of effect I could get. And you know, just experimenting. Here is for the fortune teller witch that I did for Inktober in 2017. I was just trying to sketch out color concepts and figure out what colors I wanted her bodice and everything to be, because I had a hard time picking the colors for that one. I ended up being really happy with the way it came out, but it took some trial and error for sure to figure out what I wanted. Some more ink wasting and using it up. Here on this page is just a commission I had for a family member a long time ago. There's some more Inktober marker swatches. I did a lot of that year just to figure out what colors I wanted and plan everything out so that it could turn out how I wanted it to. Right here is just some doodles I did while I was at work. This is from my old job that I was in before my husband and I bought our house. So you'll see a lot of stuff like this that's kind of pasted in here just because I wanted to get through the sketchbook. I felt like I had kind of mentally moved on, but these are just doodles that I did at work. We hung them up during the holiday season, and then I took them out and I took them home and I put them in here because I thought they ended up being really cute even though they were doodles. And I just used Sharpie on these, nothing too fancy, but I liked them. I thought they were cute, so I wanted to keep them. Here is just another continuation of that family commission that I talked about earlier. And here is where I was working on this commission that was actually really cool. It was very much out of my comfort zone, but I did a commission where I painted on a welding helmet. Here's some pictures of it just so you guys can see kind of the process of it. It was really, really cool. I had never done anything like this before, and I haven't really done anything like this since, so it was definitely a very unique experience. And I cut all of the sketches out and I kept them and I stuck them in here just so I could keep them all in one place and not have to have them spread out over several pages like this full page here. But yeah, I really liked those. This is the beginning of my 12 Days of Christmas challenge that I believe I saw Saphira Lou doing this last year. I believe this was in 2017 as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I just decided to make this little list, I guess, but I wanted to make it really festive, so I drew this up really quick after I brainstormed all of the ideas that I wanted to draw. This is a post on my Instagram, by the way, if you want to dive back into my older posts. It is there, as well as the posts of all of the finished drawings. So here you can see I was doing some color swatching, some planning. Some of these are for future drawings that you're going to see here in a second, but I made this drawing here really quick because I wanted to make it festive, and I like how it turned out. So here is where we are getting into the finished pieces of all of these. These are some of the only finished pieces I actually have in my sketchbook, and most of these are not anything crazy, but I ended up liking them. So these are the first day and the second day together. It was candy cane and mistletoe. And I ended up using this iridescent paint on almost all of these, which I thought was really fun. It was just some cheap paint that I wanted to play around with. And then here is day 3, which was Sugar Plum Fairy. And this is actually one of my favorite designs that I have done so far. So maybe one day I'll do a redraw of this or something. I just really like the color palette, and I like how I portrayed the character. Here we have the next day after that. I think the prompt was snowflakes or something, and I really like this one too. I like her character design in general. I like the way I did her hair and her ice crown. It's really pretty. Here's the next day, and I think the prompt for this one was Christmas lights. And this actually ended up being one of the fan favorites. A lot of people really liked this one when I posted it, so that's nice. I like the colors. It's kind of monochromatic in like a way where I'm using the blush tones. So that one was really nice. Here's the next one. I believe this one was Holly, but I really liked putting the effort in on this dress. I liked putting the detail in there. I thought it ended up looking really good. Here's one. I think this prompt was sleigh bells. I don't really like this one at all, but I like the idea of it. I don't think I executed it the way that I wanted to. There's this one as well, which is reindeer, and I was really excited for this prompt because I had a vision of what I wanted to do anyways, but the design in general I ended up kind of rushing because, as you can see as these go on, some of these I actually did not finish in December. I ended up finishing the series late, so that one was rushed. This next one here I believe was cranberries, and I really wanted to do something with that cranberry color, but I like this one too. It's pretty. This is actually another one of my favorite ones. I believe the prompt was hot chocolate, I can't remember now, but I really like the composition and the color palette that I chose for this one. I just like the character in general. I think she turned out really cute with her pink hair and her polka dot sweater. So I really want to try and redraw this one too at some point. I really like the way it turned out, and I like the details that I put into it. So maybe I'll redo this one day as well. Here is where I was working on Valentines. I wanted to do like punny Valentines, but I didn't want to put a ton of effort into them, so I made them really small. There's 4 different designs that I did, and I'll post a picture here just so you guys can see how they turned out. This was also on my Instagram, so if you want to go back and look for it there as well, I did post it. But yeah, they ended up really cute. Here is the next day of the 12 Days of Christmas challenge. The prompt was gingerbread. I thought she ended up pretty cute. She didn't end up being one of my favorites or anything, but a lot of these last ones are really rushed, so I feel like all of these last projects were, you know, not my best, but I finished the challenge and that's what mattered to me. Here's the last day. I think the prompt was pine cone. I do end up really liking the design that I did for her dress, so maybe I'll use that in the future, but that's that. Those are all of the 12 Days of Christmas challenges. Here, I was starting my Mushroom Girl series, so like I mentioned before, there's going to be partial nudity, but only referencing like the human anatomy. So here, I realized that my Mushroom Girls, I had designed them to be nude because I kind of thought of them as like creatures that you would find in nature, and it made more sense for me that they would be nude because they're in nature, and I feel like they wouldn't naturally have clothing. Maybe they would, but I don't know. That's just how I thought of it. So here I realized I had never really drawn breasts before, or at least not currently as I've been drawing recently. So I decided to just take some practice and draw them out and figure out what colors I wanted to use and how I wanted them to look, I suppose. So I guess this is just kind of a weird look into that process, but yeah. This is just a scrap piece of paper that I used. Here is where I started to plan out my wedding invitations. For those of you that don't know, I did make all of my wedding invitations for my wedding. So I kind of had no idea where I wanted to go with that, so I just decided to start sketching to figure out what I was doing. And then here I was taking my stamps and my ink pads and coming up with different designs of what I could possibly have them look like. And so this is just the planning of all of that. I'll insert a picture here and show you what they ended up looking like, just so you guys can kind of see the finished product and how I was thinking about it. But I ended up loving the way they came out. They ended up turning out really nice. Here I was just doing some swatches of a new palette that I got, and it is the Prima watercolor palette Decadent Pies. And I haven't got the chance to fully use these palettes yet, and I left some extra space for the other ones, but yeah, nothing too exciting there, just some watercolor tests. Here is where I got my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens, and I bought a few of them in different colors, so I was just testing those out with some doodles, and I was using those same ones with my purple mechanical pencil, and just sketching some random faces. It's what I usually do if I don't know what I'm doing. These are still quite old. I believe these are from 2018. But yeah, just sketching some girl faces. This is some just cute washi tape that I got on a package and I liked it, so I stuck it in here. And these sketches are just random faces. This one I think I made up on my own. This one here, I put the Instagram tag for her. It doesn't look like her, but I was using the Pentel pocket brush pen to make these, and I really like the way this one turned out. I used that and then the Pit Artist pens like I was talking about before, and I just like the way the shading looks. And then oddly enough, this person that I used a reference photo for, I don't like as much. So I don't know what happened there, because usually my reference photos end up turning out better, but this time I really like that top one that I did. Here we have a little fairy doodle that I did around Christmas time, probably of 2018. And then here I was doing a Christmas story commission where Jesus was a character in it, so I just decided to practice drawing him because I realized I'd never tried to draw him before, as well as practicing a couple of kids' faces because I don't typically draw children either, so that was just a little bit of practice for that. The rest of these pages are just layout pages for the storyline, nothing too interesting there. Here is where I actually sketched out the drawing that's in my first YouTube video, believe it or not. I'll try and link that down below so that you guys can watch it. It's a little bit cringy at this point, and I'm not too much more experienced, but I have a little bit more experience, so that's an interesting watch. But I did my Women of Star Wars drawing for my first ever video. And this is where I just sketched out the composition and wrote out all each characters. It's really funny because it's a bunch of random shapes, but that's that. Here we did a really big jump forward where I got my Nightworm sticker commission, and I have a couple of videos where I talk about those as well. And this other page here is all of the Draw This in Your styles that I tried out, and all of the artists are tagged, and I also made a video of that as well, so I will link that down below for you, as well as the one where I work on my Nightworm stickers. That's in my first studio vlog if you guys want to check that out too. Here is where I decided to print out all of my Mushroom Girl sketches, and these pages here on this left side are actually all of the original sketches that I did for all of the characters, and then I just refined them on my iPad. And since I couldn't draw on the back of this page because I had Copic art on it, I just decided to paste these in here. It's actually really interesting to see the full concept from the very first images that I made up. And so here I listed all the types of mushrooms I wanted to use. These are all the original sketches, and then as you can see here on the other side, I refined all of them digitally, and then I just decided to print them out and put them in here to keep them because I like seeing the process and remembering what they looked like in their different stages. So here's all those, I taped them in here. I feel like it's kind of cheating for filling my sketchbook, but I feel like this was a really big project that I did, so I thought it was important to keep track of them. Here we have May of last year, which was May of 2019, and I started to sketch out different poses for Mermaid. I was planning to participate in Mermaid this year, so I just decided to practice a bunch of different poses. I drew them out so I could reference them when I actually worked on my mermaid pieces, instead of just coming up with a brand new pose every time. So here's a bunch of those laid out, just for practice, but also for referencing. Here's some more mermaid sketches here, mermaid poses, and then here is a really bad sketch of Ray. Here is one of the more final pieces that I did for Mermaid. I ended up sketching them like this, and then I ended up tracing them onto different paper, and then here is my official mermaid list that I came up with. I made an official prompt list and posted it on my Instagram. Unfortunately, I did not end up finishing it. I really want to start over again though, because I really like the idea that I had. This is something my friend drew. So I kept that picture in there. But like the Alphabet Witches series that I did for Inktober one year, I did an Alphabet Mermaids prompt list, and here is a bunch of thumbnailing that I did for all of the ones that I got through and finished. I didn't do all of them, like I said, I didn't finish, but I really liked the direction I was going with this, and I really hope to start over one day, so we'll see. Here is a little commission, I suppose, that I did for my friend. She wanted me to draw a fly. Here is another thing that I did as a gift for somebody. So I did this digitally on my iPad, and then I transferred it onto watercolor paper, and then I made a watercolor illustration of that, and it ended up really pretty. I want to make a sticker of this one day maybe, but yeah, so I made that one. Here is where I was officially starting Mermaid, and I did larger sketches, larger thumbnails of each of the smaller ones that I was doing before, and here I was just testing some paint or something. And this is kind of where you'll see these sketches a little bit out of order, just because I was trying to fill up the blank spaces in here with the mermaid sketches, since that's something I was doing currently. And like I said, I didn't finish them, but that's why they're kind of randomly in here, because I was going to fill up all the blank spots. So this one was actually more recent than this one, but there's the sketches for that, and then I was going to use all this blank space as well, but I didn't. So here's one of the other ones that I did. Here's these two. This one, which actually ended up being one of my favorite ones. I really like all of the detail that I put into that one. Here's my sketch of the Ariel one that I did. And then we get onto this page, which is kind of some stuff I don't really want to talk about too much, just because it's something I have for a future project. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but it's something I really want to do, so we'll just go through that. Here's some more concepts of that I was working on. Here's one of the stickers that was like a misprinted sticker. It was just on some paper that I didn't really like. I tried different paper, ended up not liking it, so I just decided to stick it in here. Some more sketches for that project that I want to try doing. More for that. Here's just some random sketching. Nothing crazy, just practice, I guess. Here's a little bit of a layout for a website that I wanted to do. I was looking at some samples of someone else's website, and I was just trying to decide how I want to lay out my future website. It's because I plan on using Squarespace. I don't have a Squarespace yet, at least not as of this video, but in the future I might use that. These are the cheaper watercolor swatches that I did by Handmade Modern, and I also made a video with using those, which I will link down below if you want to see that. Here's some swatching I did for a commission, as well as my Lady Krampus drawing that I did, which I also have a video for. I'll link that down below as well if you want to watch that one, but I was also sampling my gold paints here. This is a Draw This in Your Style that I did of one of my friends from school. She has an art account. I'll link her down below if you're interested. This is her handle. And I like the way this turned out. You know, I kind of did my own interpretation of that character that she made, and I really like it. I thought it ended up being really cute. Alright, and that is the end of my sketchbook. It's coming apart, as you can see, because I've just had it for so long. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I can't wait to start a new sketchbook and then eventually share that one with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I will link everything that I mentioned down below. Feel free to leave a comment for me if you have any questions about anything, or if you just want to leave a comment and say hi. I always encourage that as well. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!